So to give the way God gives, with the kind of generosity that God has given, means acknowledging, first of all, that everything we have and everything we are comes from God. While this is God's church, we are all a part of it. And we would love to have every person recognize that they're a part of it. And in that recognition, be willing to offer their gifts to what God is doing in and through this congregation. This is a 7-day-a-week church. We have groups gathering here and individuals coming here literally 7 days a week. People come here to encounter the living God. People come here to have an experience of God's love in Jesus Christ that is literally transforming. We have to support the building, the staff, the entire infrastructure for us to be able to do what God is calling us to do.
The annual fund supports so much that is done in this church, not just mission work, not just doing good for other people.
We have to pay for all of the electricity we use every year at this church. We have to pay for the water. We have to pay for how much gas we use. We have to pay to get more Bible study books.
The sanctuary is something that is just, I've been here for so long, I'm afraid I take it for granted. It's so beautiful.
Everything depends on that budget. We could not run as a church, manage as a church, without it.
The staff is absolutely critical to what we do here. Now, some of us are more visible than others. We stand up in front of the church, we lead worship, we lead classes, but there are many staff members who work behind the scenes.
I've had a new opportunity to be involved with the staff. And that is my little committee that is stuffing the bulletins for the Sunday morning service. What I really see is the enormous job descriptions. It's just like an invisible mechanism.
The ministers are your leaders, and they're not overhead. They are the mission. They're what make the missions possible, because all of us are busy with our everyday lives, and if it weren't for their drive and passion, the church, I don't think, would continue to exist.
The staff is always on call in moments of need. Now, that need may be for preparing a couple who are getting ready to be married, a very joyous thing. On the other hand, it could be a personal crisis, and a person calls and says, "Can I talk to you today?"
The pastoral care just recently has been really important to me in my life. I think what I see in the things that I have endured only because of the strength that I found in this church is that I have seen the human face of God in so many people in this church.
John Feldhacker helped us talk through things that we had questions about. It wasn't just about marriage, it was, what we wanted our relationship to look like with Christ, and it was a huge part of the initiation of our relationship and continues to be a big part of why we are who we are.
This church made a decision in the late 1940s that they were going to try to provide child care. It has been known as one of the finest child care facilities and programs in this whole city. It was a commitment to minister to the community, and it is still a ministry commitment today. It also has been an avenue for people to be connected with West End who later got involved and became members of West End.
When my son was preschool age, I really felt like I needed to find a school that was going to make sure that he always felt welcomed and in a place that recognized how special each person was. And from the very first moment he was here, I knew this was the right place for him. I realized the same things that had attracted me to the preschool also began to attract me to the church. And I thought, this is our home.
When we invest in any ministry, to have a healthier community, to have an educated community, to have a community where people can feel productive and be fruitful in what they do, benefits everyone. It could be something as simple as helping someone learn to read, or it could be as demanding as traveling to another country to help build a building or to do medical work there.
Por su ayuda podemos ofrecer a nuestros pacientes la calidad de atención médica que merecen.
Because you give, members of our church had the courage and support to answer Christ's call to heal the sick by starting a dental clinic in the basement of the church for the poor. Thank you for putting hands to work and for changing lives.
My name is Maggie Johnson, and I am a junior in high school. And I was baptized here, and then I went through Sunday school all the way, and then I got confirmed after 6th grade, and now I'm in the youth group. Because people give to the church, the youth group has this great place where we can all come and learn together about God and, you know, be a great community of friends and family and neighbors and talk about how we can go out in the world and serve others. And we do Nashville Food Project on the first Sunday of every month. And this past summer we went to the Bahamas and roofed houses, so mission trips are a lot of fun. I've just been able to get closer to God, and when you go and do the service together, it kind of creates a really good, you know, energy around you because you're helping others.
The joy in my life is certainly part of my relationship with this church, and it began a long time ago with my parents. I think Michael's emphasis on not how we talk or how we come every Sunday, but what we do actively is establishing a new legacy.
You begin by coming to the church for you, but then what you learn is you are here for God to use to achieve His purpose. It's gratitude and duty. You know, you're grateful for all the blessings you've gotten, which truly the more we've found, the more you give, the more you get.
It's a promise that God made in Malachi. Give me your tithe, and I will open the windows of heaven, and blessings will flow abundant, more than you can even have room for.
For us, giving is a spiritual practice. It's one of the 5 vows we make when we become members of a church. We give because of the kind of people it makes us. We give because it forms us in the image of Christ, in the love of God, so that we can become more thoughtful, helpful disciples of Jesus Christ. There are different patterns of giving, and many of those are generational.
It's better to give people your money instead of collecting it. Every once in a while, I give to church about, I think that time it was about $1, but I thought that would do a little bit good for the church. In case our church breaks apart or something breaks, they can just use this money.
I pledge to give $20 a month. I know our family, you know, makes a pledge and gives every month.
There is kind of a resurgence of some, you know, younger couples coming into the church and wanting to be involved and wanting to take some responsibility. You know, I really have a lot of pride in this church based on the fact that my whole family's been going here for 4 generations, and at some point the torch is going to have to be passed to the young adults.
What is really encouraging is with all these new people, new families joining the church, and the excitement Michael's created, you really realize what the potential of West End could be, because I think we got up to 523 giving units last year, which was an increase. But we probably have another 1,000 we could go, and just think if everybody gave something, what would be possible.
It would be so exciting if everybody were involved just by a small gift. I think that the blessings on this church and the way we'd be able to bless everyone in Nashville and around the world, it's endless.
We are able to offer disciple classes because you give. We are able to have youth gatherings because you give. We are able to have children's gatherings because you give. We are able to have worship services because you give. We are able to reach out into the community to work with Project Transformation, to work with 61st Avenue United Methodist, to be in neighborhoods where we wouldn't be otherwise because you give. I think the variety of things would overwhelm people to know that because you give, no matter the size of your gift, you're making possible ministry within this building, around this building, in neighborhoods you would never reach, across the country, and literally across the world, because you give.